What's the type of heartache that a builder can commonly come up against?
Well, my sympathy lies with the builder when it comes to them engaging subcontractors. I believe in this industry there's been a bit of a decline in the standard of quality of tradesmen and the training of tradespeople, or the ability to access good qualified tradespeople. A number of my clients tell me this all the time. And so there's a lot of people in the industry that should be registered, from the person that pours the concrete, that pegs the land, to installs the plaster, all the way through. These tradespeople should be qualified and properly registered.
And just on that note as well, I have absolute sympathy for the builders. I can't understand how you've got, for instance, your foundations of your home. Now, the builder and your surveyor is going to check over, the guts of it. But at the end of the day, you've got somebody who can essentially buy a truck, put a sticker on it calling it ABC concreting, and pour the foundations for your home, and they've got absolutely no responsibility at all in the system. It all falls back on the builder. Same with a lot of the trades. In fact, nearly all the trades, minus plumbers and electricians, in my mind, and surveyors and engineers, they go completely unchecked. You can buy a car tomorrow, put a sticker on it, and you can be a renderer. You can buy a car tomorrow, put a sticker on it, and you can be a concreter. That's lunacy.
Well, that's one of the biggest gripes of the builders, is that there's no accountability. And when you actually look at a lot of the issues, the builders, especially those engaged in volume building, have difficulty with supervising or engaging the right contractors. Just on the issue of inspection, it becomes even more difficult if the inspector is unregistered, and that's very common in this industry, and the building surveyor relies on that inspector.
And so does the builder as well.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So, that raises the issue of the conflicts that arise in the industry. Effectively, you have, from day one, you have the soil engineer who is required to be impartial and set a particular standard, has ongoing relationships with the builder and with the engineer. It's a very tight, close-knit industry. And so they're all relying on one another for continuous work, and nobody wants to upset the apple cart. And so you have template soil engineering reports, you have template drawings, you have template contracts, you have template provisions, you have this continuing with no real overriding inspecting going on, and possibly unregistered inspectors.
And a giant conflict of interest by the sounds of it as well.
And you have surveyors that don't go out on site and check the job. The job proceeds in breach of all of the Australian standards, and then at the end of it you have the consumer who has to hand over the money, the final payment, and effectively by this stage the dispute has arisen between the parties, and it's likely to arise.
And if it all goes to hell in a handbasket, you've got to fork out hundreds of thousands of dollars to prove that there was negligence on that side as the consumer. So once again, the consumer misses out, and just a big...
Well, effectively, the system currently prejudices both the homeowner and the builder, because if the builder gets caught up in litigation,
True.
They can similarly be up for the same costs as the owner.
Yeah, and he was relying on the other guys as well, who don't indemnify their work. It all falls back on the builder.
Well, the problem for the builder, who's building 6, 20 or 30 homes, they can't possibly keep a check on each of the tradespeople, and so when they walk back into the house, you usually find they've got blue stickers everywhere where the works need to be redone. If something is wrong with the house, and particularly in a footing and foundation case, somebody will blame the soil engineer, somebody will blame the engineer design, somebody will blame the builder for construction, somebody will blame the surveyor for ticking the work off, and eventually somebody will blame the plumber for not installing flexible joints. Effectively, in one piece of litigation you can have 4, 5 parties.